Good morning and welcome to Rising. We've got another great show for you today. Hope you are enjoying the Thanksgiving holiday, but Lindsay and I are hard at work. They're waiting. The turkey is out there somewhere waiting for us to be done.
What's your favorite Thanksgiving dish on the table?
Well, I like the turkey and the stuffing, and I do like that cranberry sauce. I like it all. It's all good food.
We are trying fried turkey this year for the first time.
You're going to have fried
turkey? Is that crazy?
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Somebody came to me with the idea that's a chef, and I said, yeah, I'll take one. So I'll give you a full report on Monday whether I liked it or not.
Interesting. Can't wait to hear that.
Coming up on Rising, a new report shows that many young people don't seem to be buying homes, as the average age for first-time home buyers has skyrocketed. We'll discuss what all this means.
Plus, polls show religious faith levels have dropped in the U.S. and that Gen Z women seem to be leading the exodus.
And Democrats swept Republicans in the most recent elections in various states. We'll be joined by independent political commentator Stephen Olikara to discuss what's next for the party. But first, Robby, what's on your holiday radar?
Well, as I've been saying, happy Thanksgiving and rejoice because turkey prices are down this year versus last. As reported by the Washington Post, the average price of a Thanksgiving meal has fallen since the year prior. The average cost for a family of 10 is now $55.50 versus $60 per family in 2022, which was the costliest year on record. This is a good reminder that while the country's economic circumstances are not perfect, one can certainly argue that life is better under President Donald Trump than it was under Joe Biden, whose administration presided over runaway inflation that has come down, though not receded completely, since Trump took office. Of course, this good news is likely to fall on deaf ears of many Democrats whose frustration and blind fury toward Trump is all-consuming as ever. Equally annoying are those on the other side, the Trump true believers, who lash out at any and all criticism of the president, no matter how mild or well delivered. This Thanksgiving, I'm suggesting both of those types simply refrain from talking politics at all during your holiday celebration and dinner. Yes, every year around this time, we are treated to a barrage of mainstream media articles and complaints from young progressive lefties about how awful it is to talk to your older, more conservative relatives about politics. What if racist Uncle Steve says something that offends me? Oh no. You know that kind of journalism. You've probably seen plenty of examples. It's very, very tiresome. Of course, now it's more likely that Uncle Steve, or at least Aunt Karen, are the progressive Trump haters, and the younger kids, especially the boys, they're the Trump fans. But regardless of how your family breaks down, maybe it would be better for everyone if we just gave politics a one-day rest. After all, we were not meant to be this all-consumingly focused on politics all the time. Thanksgiving's a time to reflect on the origins of this American experiment. It's always worth keeping in mind that the founders of our great nation did not envision a powerful federal government in which all Americans would participate in some ceaseless battle for control and for say over how other people live their lives. Our American heritage is one of leaving other people alone to live their lives as they see fit and to foster harmony and joint cooperation when done voluntarily and when mutually economically productive. That is the tradition the Thanksgiving holiday reflects. Now, I've said this often on Rising, but in my view, it's just mine, the reason our politics has become so toxic is because the stakes are so much higher, which is completely contrary to what our founding fathers envisioned. They thought Congress would meet infrequently and that the executive branch would do very little. They wanted to mostly leave things up to the states. Today, the government is the president of the United States, who has vast powers that substantially impact the lives of all Americans. And so we have reason to be very, very involved in politics. If my side loses, your side will oppress mine, and vice versa. If Republicans are in control during an immigration crisis, it could mean federal troops deployed to blue cities. And if Democrats are in control during a health emergency, it might mean the feds closing schools and businesses indefinitely. We've lived through both these things. So people fight and they argue in very embittered fashion to not be out of power. It's tough, but that's the only antidote to this era of increased polarization. Shrink government and give the feds less power over our lives. Then we can go back to ignoring politics, not just on Thanksgiving, but for most of the year. Wouldn't that be great? I think so.
Bah humbug.
No, this is a positive vision for what America could look like. We could be less at each other's throats, Lindsay, you and I and everyone else, if we just left each other alone, if the government left us alone, if the government would stop harassing us and bossing us around, we could live in peace.
So let's talk about you and I, then let's back up to everybody in America. So,
Okay.
You and I get an opportunity.
Well, it's our job.
Yeah, no, we get an opportunity to discuss ideas and debate topics every single day. People who go into their jobs and workplace, usually a lot of these topics are off limits if you'd like to keep your job and not get in an argument with your coworker.
Thanks for that, HR.
That disagrees. And so they're going to use the opportunity, particularly with you and I, to talk about this at the table. I'm not offended by it, but also everyone at home should discuss ideas. In real life and in real time, most recently in the last month, a variety of people have been affected by our government, specifically from people who were flying, whose flights just randomly got canceled because air traffic controllers weren't able to go to work, to people who signed up for health insurance like we had to do this week and saw their premiums are going to rise next year.
Oh, yeah,
to
I gotta
people
do that still.
Yeah, you need to get on top of it. But to people that are looking at the fact that they haven't received SNAP benefits until maybe the day of or day before Thanksgiving, and they still want to enjoy time with their family and buy groceries. So there's real factors that people can still be thankful for, the fact that they are together despite these circumstances, but real opportunity to share ideas, but also criticize what you might think is going wrong or right about the government. I don't think that needs to turn into an argument. And I do also, like you, despise those think pieces that you really need to shun everybody. I cannot control everybody in my family. I got some ridiculous characters across the board on both sides of the aisle. That said, I still welcome the dialogue because sometimes it's humorous, sometimes it's over the top, sometimes I just have to be an adult and ignore, like not engage if I'm that fired up. And so we need to know how to have dialogue because that's part of the problem about why it got so like the tensions got so high in our country is because people couldn't even talk to each other. And I feel like we've passed that wave of not being able to talk. Maybe that was around President Trump's first presidency, and that's why Biden came in. People had Trump fatigue and just thought it was too over the top. And now here we are. The country decided that they would like this man to be president again. We're going to have to talk about it because we're here. And he won by more than a little bit. And so I think it's worth noting. Are you happy? If my family members come to the table, I'll say, are you happy? You happy with how things are going? You happy with these tariffs?
They're probably happy with the turkey prices.
The turkey prices, that's the only thing they're happy with. You happy with the gas prices? You happy for the flights that you can't get your money back on if they're now 4 hours delayed because President Trump wants to strip that rule and make airlines not pay you back, a rule that Biden put into to protect flying people and consumers. You know, a lot of things. Tell me, are you happy?
Well, that
and we can discuss it.
That
and,
rule they'll raise the price of the flight to cover that lost economic, right? It's not. That's just kind of directing the market in a way that's not going to make people's lives better. They'll just raise the cost of the flight.
Either way, people can have a time to sit down, and a lot of people, if you're lucky enough, are off work and can talk about what's working and what's not, and how they feel about the president they voted for. I saw New York Times actually did a great job because they went to cities across the country and spoke to Trump voters. Some of them said, I still wouldn't change my vote, but no, I'm not happy. And here's the reasons why. You should be able to express yourself. Just like if you wanted Kamala to win and I held people's feet to the fire, tell me why. What exactly did
I
she
would like
say?
to know.
What exactly
Tell
did
us
she say
why. Why did you think that?
I'm asking. So that's what I'm saying. If people are so passionate, and these are conversations I had with my mom when I was like, no, Joe Biden can't go forward. And she was like, yes, he can.
Really?
And I'm
Your
going
mom
for
thought he
and
was?
me and her were going back and forth. And she was like, what are the other options? The country will crumble. And I disagreed wholeheartedly. I think that we needed to figure out a better plan. And so those conversations should be had because then it makes people look internal and say, why am I just blindly supporting President Trump and these ideas that are making my everyday harder to afford? Why am I supporting somebody with a 39% approval rating? Or do I like what he's doing and have to say that these are things that I like? So I think that this is all good conversation.
I don't know if it's all good. I think it can be, well, certainly we want an engaged population. We're a democracy. People are voters. But I think it would be nice to be able to turn politics off a little bit more regularly. Take a break from it. Take a break from it having so much impact on our lives every now and then.
You can watch the game and talk politics while you're eating.
Watch the game instead, yeah. Watch the game and just talk about the game.
Just no politics whatsoever.
Yeah. A new report documents the struggles that younger people are facing trying to buy a home. We've been talking about this a lot lately. We'll look at those numbers right after the break.